Well, the time has come. Arch Manning is now the quarterback of the University of Texas. We have no more excuses. All the reasons and all the excuses that we had for Quinn Ewers and why Quinn Ewers was this and Quinn Ewers was that, and we sucked because of Quinn Ewers, are now officially gone. Arch Manning is now the quarterback at the University of Texas. Oh, hook 'em, by the way. And the only thing I am going to accept is a national championship at this point, or he has to at least get to the game because he needs to be better than Quinn, because he has to prove to me that it was Quinn's fault all along. Now, since we have Arch, we're no longer going to have those red zone issues, and I'm super excited about that. We're also not going to have any issues with Arch Manning reading defenses, right? He's going to be able to read every single defense, because that is my expectation of him, because I was told last year that Quinn Ewers couldn't do that, and that was why we were losing. So therefore, yes, we have Arch Manning, so we should be fine there. The other thing we also should be fine with, and honestly, I mean this with 100% honesty, is turnovers. I'm very interested to see if Arch Manning is going to be able to protect the football, because I felt like Quinn Ewers turned the ball over too many times in too many situations. Yes, some of them were tipped balls. However, I think for the fact that defenses really didn't respect Quinn Ewers' ability to throw the ball deep, I think it impacted the turnovers, and I felt like he had way too many turnovers. I was always expecting a turnover, at least one per game, and I don't want to do that. I want to have a quarterback that doesn't turn the ball over. And honestly, we don't know if Arch Manning is going to turn the ball over, because we don't really know what Arch Manning is going to do. The other thing is, now that we have Arch Manning, we're going to be able to throw the ball down the field. I want to see how Coach Sark is going to operate this offense. He is an offensive guy, and a lot of people said that Quinn Ewers limited his ability to open up his offense. If that is true, I want to see Coach Sark open up this Texas offense. I want to see him use Arch Manning to the fullest extent of his abilities. So that means throwing the ball down the field more, and I want to see us stretch defenses. I want this offense to be stretched, and I want to see us stretch defenses. The other thing I've realized here is I think Coach Sark and their staff is all in on Arch Manning. I feel like the guys that they're getting through the transfer portal and what they are showing me is that they know that Arch Manning is going to be there for 2 years, and so they're going to set this team up for success. They're hoping that next year is the team that is successful, but if for some reason it is not next year, they're building up to be able to have a very strong core so that Arch Manning's second year starting, they're ready to go. I like what Coach Sark is doing as far as bringing in people from the transfer portal that are going to make an immediate impact and that you can actually plug and play. I love that we have a new kicker. I like that we all realized that we needed to get a new kicker, so I'm super happy for that. But it honestly feels like what is going on here is they are trying to set up Arch Manning to have every single thing that he needs around him to be successful, and I'm here for it. The other thing that I don't think we talk about enough about our 2024 Texas team was that defense was really good. And that defense was the reason why we were able to win games, stay in games, and they're the reason that we were solid all season long. I don't know what Texas is going to do on defense this year. I don't expect a lot of drop off from this Texas defense this year, because I feel like we have the athletes in places that make sense, and I think that we've done well in the transfer portal, getting some guys to really fill in for some things that we're going to lose. However, we never really know. So I'm expecting this defense to stay where they were last year. Even if they drop off a little bit, I think that that is okay, because they were so good last year. However, I need this offense to step up. Last year, the offense was a liability. Last year, the offense, nobody knew what we were going to get. Nobody knew what was going to happen. This year, 2025, I need this Texas offense to step up, and we have Arch Manning. So we should be able to step up, right? Because that's what I've been told. Arch Manning is going to fix all of our problems. So if Arch Manning is going to fix all of our problems, I expect this Texas offense to have a top 25 offense in 2025. And that is my expectations. And I am not going to back off of that expectation until Arch Manning shows me I should back off of that expectation. If you're watching this video and you like what you see, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. And don't forget to turn on those notification bells on so you don't miss any of my content in the future. And maybe, if you're feeling generous, don't forget to leave me a comment in the comment section below. At the end of all of this, it is here, right? Spring is over. Now it is about summer workouts and then starting fall camp. I am super excited about where this Texas team is at. I have loved the pickups out of the transfer portal. I love every single thing that we're doing right now. And I said in my first Texas video that was leading into this 2025, I am going to be focusing on the details. The details is what matters to me when it comes to this Texas team. The little bitty details. That is going to be extremely important to me, because we have the talent, we have the schedule, we have everything we need to get us where we're trying to go, but we have to really focus on those details, and we have to really make sure that we're putting guys in positions to be successful. That is going to be very important to me. The other thing I want to commend the University of Texas for is their roster management. They have done a tremendous job of managing their roster with the transfer portal. They have been able to get the guys they want out of the transfer portal. They have been able to keep the guys they want from entering the transfer portal, and they have been able to really create a great environment to keep this Texas team together, to keep all the key pieces together, and to keep everyone wanting the same goal. And I love that. I love everything I am seeing the University of Texas doing right now, and it just makes me happy. And I cannot end this video without saying I don't know what they are doing with Colin Simmons. I don't know what kind of weight program he is on. I don't know what Colin Simmons is up to, but every single time I see Colin Simmons, I have to do a double take, because that whatever the training staff is doing, whatever the strength and conditioning coach is doing with these Texas athletes, he deserves whatever he is getting paid, because they look amazing. One of my favorite things about this Texas team as the spring ends is that we didn't hear anything coming out of the Texas camp. We didn't hear anything about Texas football. We didn't hear a single thing, nothing. And I like that. I like when there's no news. I like when nothing is happening. I like when Coach Sark is staying out of the media. I like when nothing is going on and there's no stories and there's nothing for people to talk about. And so all they're doing is talking about the same things on repeat. Arch Manning, this, 5-star, this. I love that. I love that absolutely nothing came out during Texas spring ball except for who was signing, who was committing. I love that there's no new content for Texas football. I love that Coach Sark is doing his interviews and he's doing what he needs to do, but I like that the only thing that you hear about Texas football right now in regards to what happened in the spring is how good everybody looks. You hear about how good so-and-so looks, how good so-and-so is looking, who's coming in prepared. Yes, so-and-so got hurt, but here's the guy that's going to fill in for him. I love that. I love that that is where we're at. I also really love that we got to hear about all the players that are going to get drafted from the University of Texas. I think that is where you want your program to be. You want people to be talking about your program based on the limited things that they can see, and then you want them talking about the players from your program going to the NFL. That is all you want in spring ball, and that is what we got. Coach Sark kept this team out of the news, and I respect and appreciate him for that, and that is paying attention to the details and staying disciplined, and I love that for me. Now the fun part happens. The players have to decide who they want to be for 2025. They have time to do what it is they need to do. My hope is that they love football enough to stay around football and to stay around each other. But honestly, I believe this is where championships are made. What these players decide to do right now until fall ball starts, in my opinion, is where I really think teams are able to gel and come together and make sense, because everything that they're going to do now is because they want to do it. And I'm excited to see how many of these athletes want to do things together. How many of them are going to go throw? How many of them are going to get together and just go over the playbook? How many of them are going to really get together, chop it up, and do football things until the fall starts? I believe that this is the most important time for these athletes as well, because they're going to have more time on their hands than they're ever going to have. This is a true break where they get to take a deep breath, and I'm very fascinated to see what this Texas football team is going to do. And I'm also very excited to see all their high school recruits that are coming in. I'm very excited to see what's happening with recruiting. And honestly, it's just a good time to be a Texas Longhorn fan, okay? We have suffered enough. This is our time, and I'm super excited that we're here. I'm super excited to be here, and I cannot wait to see what happens in this Texas offseason and to see who else commits to the University of Texas. Although I don't trust any of these athletes, but you know, it kind of is what it is at this point. I cannot wait to see them play game 1 against Ohio State. I want to see what they're made of. You all know by now, I don't care what happens in practice. I don't care about these one-off videos that I can see. I don't care about your body. I don't care about all those things. I want to see what you look like on the field when the whistle blows and the ball is kicked off. That is when I'm going to judge you on how well I think you're going to do this season, and I'm excited to see this Texas team. So I wanted to make this video as the spring is coming to an end. This is officially Arch Manning's team. No more excuses for this Texas program. And now this is the time. This is the moment. This is the time that we all get to sit back and say, okay, who are we going to be? Let's hope and pray that who we think we're going to be, if you're a Texas fan, is who we're going to be. And honestly, if you're not a Texas fan, I know that you're saying the exact opposite prayer that I'm saying. That is not my problem. That is a you problem. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I will see you in my next video.